slat wall, and it's got new fixtures, and the whole place is getting painted this beautiful blue, and it's so pretty. Okay.
So come see us. Come see us at St. Louis Park.
And I've just been having a really good time, and really my staff rocks, and I really wouldn't be able to do this without them.
Awesome Fantasy Gifts team.
I'll say bye. I will turn this off, and we'll get back to, I see other things here that look very interesting.
Well, let's start with Caitlyn Jenner, because I saw her. I couldn't stand it when I saw online that she was going to be on with Tucker Carlson on Fox, and I had to see what was going to happen there.
Oh, so they flew her in for when he took over the spot, or was this?
Before
the brouhaha, the brouhaha?
Well, it's this week. I mean, okay. I think Caitlyn has been slotted to be a guest for quite some time, and the conversation was pretty. I didn't see the whole thing. I saw almost all of it, but the conversation was pretty fascinating because Caitlyn Jenner. Is a Republican voter and voted for Trump and talked about not being a single issue voter. But then if you mess with my community, in this case, she was referring to the transgender community. It was a very interesting conversation. And Caitlyn Jenner is just an accomplished person. Like, let's just say, and was able to carry on, a very interesting conversation about, but yet, of course, she diverts from a lot of the standards that one would assume that Fox News would support.
Certainly.
So, but it managed to remain a respectful conversation throughout the entire time. And I think a lot of people got an earful education. So you can YouTube any interview that you ever see on any station now, which is kind of amazing, really. Mm-hmm. But if you are a Caitlyn Jenner fan, follower, or just interested in the development of the community and what she's kind of doing to advance it, check it out, because I thought she represented pretty well.
But honestly, the one thing that I got because browsing through a lot of the stuff is that honestly, a lot of the stuff is not single issues, because I mean, you're talking about human rights. I mean, honestly, that's not like I'm not talking about whether or not in my homeowner association I'm going to vote for one candidate because I think you can have a whole bunch of different colors versus beige or gray. That would be a single issue. But we're talking human rights. They're not a single issue.
She was talking about that she has other things that are also important to her that have to do with the fiscal and economic and different.
I mean, that's a whole
things.
Separate thing. I mean, I get that,
right?
But the fact that you can slice and dice that, I've always found sort of fascinating. That there's this cognitive dissonance that you can like say I want that you can like that human rights or how you treat another human being is equal to economics. It's a human being. It's more than, and that's always been fascinating.
Yeah,
to me.
I mean, you gotta
going through there. I mean, I know what she's saying and what she's trying to say and do all that stuff. But when people say that and then they vote against people, I'm sorry, that means that you put money ahead of people, and they're not equal. Yeah, so going through there. And so I find that, so it's a little disingenuous to me for them, for folks to vote one way and then say another thing when your vote cancels out your other stuff. It's just, no. and that way, just different things.
And she's got a book coming out. And she admitted having had some surgery recently, but I don't know. The headline of the story says Caitlyn Jenner just made another shocking confession, and I don't really actually find this shocking at all. It actually fits right in with the progression of her life. She basically said that she just wasn't entirely comfortable with sex with Kris Jenner, and they have 2 kids. And if you read the whole thing, it's kind of just an interesting story. She says that they had, great and frequent sex in the beginning, and like so many couples that divorce actually they may still technically be married because they've done a legal separation or whatever. But, anyway, they grew apart and, this finally bubbled up and she decided to pursue this aspect, which is a whole different ball of wax. But it's kind of interesting. I think the memoir is fascinating. And I'm not saying that her journey is any more interesting than any other trans person. But I mean, we've never had an Olympic decathlete, the symbol of athletic, what was at the time
the public I mean,
It's amazing.
There's got to be a better word than celebrity, but yes, I mean, just the general knowledge of this person is greater than most other folks.
And the background, it goes against, I mean, you want to talk about shaking up people's stereotypes? Like, if somebody that's a decathlete, I mean, that's like masculine, whatever. It's like, oh, actually, I really feel like a woman. I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, it's amazing.
Pretty much proves that the body and the brain, can develop differently.
And I actually give her a little more cred than just somebody who's well known, just that might have been an actress or something else, because I mean, that was a long career and super fame. And I don't know, it's a different type of achievement in my opinion.
And I think, all the folks that were not celebrities that were able to do this earlier, certainly helped her be able to do what she needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. I know. But I just feel like for the portion of the population today that is not wanting to even be open to understanding this, the idea that Caitlyn Jenner is like, well, look at me. It's like, oh yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Like if you think this is some really weird outside of the box kind of thing. So I thought it was interesting. But yeah, it's an interesting story. And speaking of athletes, this cracks me up. We go to Florida.
Naked?
Well, it's better.
Naked?
I think this is actually even better.
Is it better than naked?
It's better than the garden variety naked idiot. Okay. So there was a tennis match, the Sarasota Open.
Okay.
Interrupted by sex. Sweet. And tennis has so many rules and so many protocols and all this kind of stuff. So this is just brilliant.
So like spectators were having sex? I heard like a little bit of this, but I didn't quite get all the details because it came in on the end.
It was an apartment across the lake. People having sex in an apartment. First, they thought it was porn on somebody's phone, like on YouTube on somebody's phone, but it was actual sex. But the sound carried because it was across the water. Isn't that fantastic? We have video and tweets.
Did it so it interrupted the match?
Yeah, the announcers were like,
was this on TV?
Yes. And they said, I still hear it. What's going on? And then when they when you couldn't deny that the sound sounded sexual, well, it can't be that good. They're starting, nope, that's not a phone. I mean, we've got this story. And as always, our dedicated Megan.
I wonder if the people that were having the sex knows it's them.
Wouldn't that be so great to discover it's you? So funny.
No.
So funny.
I am not. I mean, I'm over here. I do a podcast. I talk. I've done some performance. I do all that. But there are certain things that I'm private about, and I just don't know if I want to be.
You wouldn't own it?
I'm pretty sure that I would not own if someone overheard me.
I think there's a lot of people that would be glad to step up and say, "I made it onto TV moaning."
No, I don't think I want that to be my internet fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just giggling. I mean, there's all sorts of noises in tennis, and then this is in the background. Oh God,
I know, but I
might have to click on this.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We'll have it up on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page. Okay, so science stepping up, saying why we need.
Science.
I love science. Why we need to have more sex, according to science.
Science. Oh,
stronger immune system.
Oh, I admit. Damn it. I thought I was having plenty. Damn,
yeah.
I'm going to have to have more. Okay.
Study out of Wilkes University, Pennsylvania, U.S. Sex once or twice a week increases, check this, antibody levels by 30%.
I wonder if it's because you're in touch with other people's germs.
Apparently, sexually active people being more exposed to bacteria and viruses, give us more antibody releases. That's the theory. Sounds plausible. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is why they say you shouldn't use antibacterial soap, and it's really okay if your kid eats some dirt.
Agreed. Better heart health, and they're talking about men. They're using men in their 50s who have sex at least twice a week. 45% reduced risk of heart disease. This is out of New England Research Institutes. And also Florida State University have found post-sex intimacy lingers for 2 days, which also raises the happy feelings.
Well, I like happy feelings.
Me too. Lower blood pressure is number 3.
All good things.
Yep. And that was a good one. Natural pain relief. Oops.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's look at that one.
Considering the fact that I'm, forgot the brace, so I'm not wearing that. I've had a cortisone shot in my knee. Yeah, I could do natural pain relief. Let's go. Wait a minute, can we cut this podcast short?
Right, so you can make a phone call or you don't get on Tinder, you got a guy.
No, yeah.
Actually, sex releases endorphins that relieve pain, and they use female migraine sufferers reporting a 60% improvement in pain after sexual activity. But I'm sorry, if I have a migraine, which I do get them, thankfully very rarely, sex is not exactly something
considering the fact that I usually have floaties behind one eye, can't handle light, and I'm vomiting. I'm trying to figure out exactly where
not hot, Colleen.
Yeah, where the sex comes. No. Yeah.
No. It does reduce the risk of prostate cancer.
I've heard that.
Yep. Okay, that's
gotta
good.
clean the pipes, all that sort of stuff.
Love it. Restful sleep, all the different oxytocins, the prolactins.
Well,
all
masturbation gets you right into there. That's a great way to fall asleep.
Perfect. Less stress.
Yep.
And that's just the oxytocin. Sharper memory. We've talked about this, and there's all sorts of twisted ways. No pun intended. But they said that this is a Canadian study that said that women who had recently had sex were better able to remember abstract words in memory task tests. So if you can't find your car keys, go get laid. I'm thinking. I don't know.
Seems reasonable to me.
You know what?
What I'm actually mostly fascinated about is the majority of the study was done in the United States. Where the hell did they get their funding?
Unclear. Some of it's Canada and some of it's the UK. But I will tell you.
All together, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And but here's the whole thing. If it doesn't increase your life, at least it'll be happier.
Certainly.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So stronger self-worth, and that is, boosting your mental well-being through feeling desirable, which I think that's cool, right?
I like, we were talking about, where is it? Which one of the doctors that we had in here, the therapist, but I mean, honestly, if folks need to study stuff that, so that it's true, and then you can
Dr. Markey.
And you can get more, and then you can have people having, maybe actual sex education in schools because there's science behind it, even though we all know it. But right. I shouldn't say we all know it. Enough people know it that, study away. Go for it.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dr. Markey, it's funny that you sort of hearkened to her because this next story is right in her wheelhouse. There's a sex-themed open mic situation. They have, what did she call them? They're public forums where people can come and talk with experts such as yourself.
Just like sex talks or table talks?
Something. Yeah.
I think we need more sex. We can't remember.
I know, damn. Right on. This is open mic talking about kink culture. Mm-hmm. So these people are willing to come in and talk about kink and let other people that are in various stages of curiosity, from frigidity to maybe that's me, or they want to feel better about themselves and get over shame because they're into it, hear people tell their stories about kink. And
is that here in the Twin Cities, or where is it? Because
no.
Judging by the fact that the amount of starter kink items that we sell, and the fact that there are 2 kink stores in the Twin Cities, I'm thinking the Twin Cities gets their kink on pretty damn good.
Oh, I think they do. This is a national story. We'll have the link on there. So you can check. But I mean, this is something too that you could, and we've put up Dr. Markey's links and contact and everything. This is something you could absolutely go and discuss at one of her events as well. Mm-hmm. And those do come to the Twin Cities. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Safe sex fatigue. It's Western Australia.
Okay.
Yeah. They've had, like so many places, including here, dramatic rises in STI rates. And, they don't hear the message anymore is what the gist of the article is. The stats are quite frightening. They've had really, really high increases there. Like, for example, gonorrhea, 2,038 cases to 3,370. That's humongous. Mm-hmm. And then they've already had 1,035 cases, as of not quite the end of, April of this year. So another quick warning to, kind of refresh yourself on that and stay vigilant about your kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the CDC, April is Sexual Transmitted Disease month, whatever, and they have a whole thing on syphilis. I was really, the artwork, I have to admit, I knew most of the information, but the artwork was